Xbow is quietly becoming one of the best decks in the game, and a lot of mid-ladder players don't know how to stop it. So today we're going to be making a mid-ladder Xbow guide, everything you need to know, and as you can see, we're definitely in the mid-ladder range. It's pretty early season, so figured I'd make some little mid-ladder tips, and the first one is going to be about starting plays. So since Xbow is a relatively cheap deck, it is a cycle deck, you have a few different options for your starting plays. Splitting archers to back is my favorite, but you can cycle any of the skeletons, Electro Spirit, or Log, and get to your main cards quicker. Now I know there's a big meme about going Xbow Tesla the bridge first play and just winning off that, and it's always been a meme for a long time now, right? But I'm telling you, that has like a 30% success rate and even lower in mid ladder, just because you actually never know what your opponent has. So highly would not recommend going Xbow first play. Just don't do it, man. Just play the game normally, win with skill. I believe in you, right? So yeah, starting off early, you definitely want to just cycle your lower cards, respond to your opponent, don't make any quick Xbow moves. My Magic 8 Ball's already thrown out the good game. All right. So whenever you're going up against mid-ladder decks, the main thing you want to keep in mind are the win conditions and just like troublesome cards. So like already, I remember that my opponent has a Hog Rider and an Ebarbs. Those are like the two cards that can get good tower damage, especially if I'm not ready for them. At this point, we know a fair bit of his deck. In terms of Xbow counters, you want to keep your opponent's Xbow counters in mind. He doesn't really have a ton. I mean, XC is decent. Hog can actually work out sometimes. And okay, yeah, looks like he's going for the Boss Bandit as well. So I guess we'll add Boss Bandit to the dangerous card list here. So Boss Bandit, Ebarbs, and the Hog Rider are all in my head right now. And I'm going to go Xbow. I'm not too sure how he's going to respond. Could go XE or Freeze. Okay, very interesting. That Freeze is not a great Xbow counter, so I think we will be getting a lock here. Very nice. I'm going to let this Xbow die. Skelly's just to keep it alive a little bit longer here. And already we have a damage lead. And now the main thing that applies to most matchups in mid ladder is you need to play very clean defense. Especially if they have Megaknights or like Pekkas, things that can stall out your Xbow for a while. You always want to be able to keep a tower damage lead. And the reason that's so important is because let's say I wasn't able to get an Xbow lock in this matchup, then I should be able to win off my spell cycle as long as I defend pretty flawlessly, right? So that's kind of the main game plan a lot of times. Since this guy's only true like win condition is his Hog Rider, we're going to be doing pretty well since we do have the double building combo to help take it out. All right, we'll go with archers here. He goes with a preemptive freeze. I don't think that's going to do a ton for him here. Archers will clean up the minions as well. So looking pretty nice here. And as you can see, so far this game, I've only taken 200 damage in both lanes combined. Whenever your opponent just has kind of like a lot of bridge spam, you can actually pre-play your Teslas because it allows you to cycle back to a second one if you need. Since we're playing such a quick cycle deck, especially in double and triple elixir, getting to multiple Teslas on a single defense can just be complete dominance. Another important factor is just protecting our Tesla. Like, this guy has not shown a big spell yet, which is like the only real way to kill a Tesla. So if I just protect my Teslas with my Knights, my Skeletons, my distracting cards, like we're always going to be chilling. I'm going to pre-cycle the Tesla here, and we should be able to cycle back to a second Tesla on this defense, and hopefully I can kind of show that here. And once we head into triple elixir, I'm probably going to focus a little bit more on the gameplay here. And, you know, Xbow is one of those decks where, like, you can be like, oh, no, that's cringe to just get one Xbow lock and sit back and defend the whole game. But honestly, I'd argue it's more cringe to run Ebarbs, like, Hog Boss Bandit freeze. Like, I mean, come on. We're just playing to win, right? So I'm even going to set up with a Debo because if your opponent doesn't have a big spell, defensive Xbows are always key, especially if you're just holding a damage lead. Looks like we have 30 seconds left, and I mean, we've just played solid defense this entire game. We're even getting the chip with the Evo Archer there for a second. Beautiful. I'm going to take the Fireball because we can afford to play clean here. I can take the -1 trade, and yeah, looks like we're set. It's not the best play to go Xbow in this position, but you know what? I'm kind of bored, so I'm going to go for it anyway. Let's just play as much as we can here. We can even stall out this Hog, and unless he freezes, we might be able to get another Xbow connection. All right, Boss Bandit's still alive, but yeah, I mean, at this point, the game's over. We just defended the whole time, and we get another Xbow lock just for the heck of it. But, you know, honestly, this can look like an unfun game, but I'm telling you, I had a lot of fun, and, you know, at the end of the day, if you walk away with a win, that's all that matters. in the next match here, and as you can see, I'm going to start off cycling slowly, and man, this guy is going aggressive. Unfortunately, we got a little bit starting handed because we don't have our Tesla, so I will opt for the fireball here. Obviously not ideal. You can definitely get starting handed with this deck, even though it's pretty cheap. You would think not, but you definitely can. So since Tesla was my 8th card in hand, we're going to be down a little bit of elixir here, but I think we're going to get a positive trade right back here on top of this Dark Prince, so shouldn't be too bad at the end of the day. So, alright, already we know, oh, what, he has a freeze? Okay, I was not even ready for that. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking with the freeze. If he responds to this knight, I'm going to go Xbow opposite lane instantly. If he plays any response to the knight, I'm going to be up elixir, so I'm just going to hold it. Okay, looks like he goes skeletons. That's not enough for me to go Xbow opposite. I will pop my ability, though. Okay, that's fine. Are we going to get any chip from the knight? I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm going to go Xbow. He doesn't have a ton of elixir. He's probably sitting at like 4 or 5 right now. Nice, and we can make this Dark Prince jump the bridge, right? Come on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we weren't able to get the Xbow lock from it, but we still might get some chip here. Come on, and there we go. Just like that, we get the Xbow on tower. And I'm going to rewind a little bit and explain my thought process there. So once he went for the freeze, he was down 4 elixir because it didn't kill my knight. My knight survived, right? That's kind of like an elixir counting tip, which I'll probably make a video on in the future. But the idea there is once he played his lumberjack, he basically spent like 8, 9 elixir in total on top of that knight, so I knew I had an elixir lead to go Xbow in the opposite lane. So a little bit of elixir counting there. I'm going to go for the fireball on top of this wizard. You know, maybe the knight will kill it. Looks like he does choose to defend it. That's fine. And okay, let's go Evo Archers here. This should be some decent value from him as if he doesn't have a good spell. Nice. Okay, look at the Evo Archers, man. Another nice tip, even though we do take the balloon shot there, I feel like we're probably going to be up elixir once he responds to these archers, so I'm actually going to preemptive Expo on the right lane. Getting to your Evos in single elixir can be so clutch. And yeah, look at that, guys. We already got an Expo lock just because he was down so much elixir right there. Beautiful stuff. He gets the wizard down late. I'm going to make sure we secure this lock. And now our sole gameplay is going to be focusing on defense, right? I'm not worried about this Xbow anymore. I'm honestly not even worried about the right lane a whole ton. Like, I'll probably let his Dark Prince get some damage just so that we're able to, yeah, defend his next push here. Let's go Tesla up top. We got the archers as well. I'm going to even Fireball just to play it safe. He does go for the freeze. I think that should still be no balloon shots, right? Yeah, no balloon shots, man. Look at that, and he's running low on clock here. Only 10 seconds left. I feel like as long as we cycle back to another Tesla, we will be fine. So that was actually a great example of using your towers as a resource. He went Dark Prince in the right lane. I didn't even need to defend it because my tower was at full HP, which allowed me to use all my elixir in the left lane and walk away with a clean win. In the next match here, and this time we'll see if our opponent doesn't play something right out of the gate. And okay, we see the hero Dark Prince. So as you can see from my starting plays, I like to be pretty passive, kind of just respond to my opponent. Oftentimes when you're in mid-ladder, they actually like to make the first move, which is pretty cool. And this guy pops the ability, but it actually went to my skeletons. I went for the fireball just to play it safe, but at the end of the day, not a horrible trade for us. We go down 400, we're up a little bit of elixir after his ability. And yeah, not too bad here at all. Archer even gets some damage on the offensive end, putting us in the damage lead. Beautiful stuff. So another important tip for Xbow, and honestly just any deck in general when you're trying to get good at Clash, is analyzing your opponent's deck and trying to kind of almost figure out what they have preemptively. I'm going to go defensive Xbow here. I was thinking about going Tesla, but I remembered he had the balloon, so I definitely did not want to play my Tesla there. He goes for the fireball. Okay, so this guy does have a big spell, which is a little bit different from the 2 previous matches. Typically, in general, like, big spells make it like even for Xbow. Like, you'd rather your opponent not have a big spell, but you can certainly win if they have one. So, all right, we see the balloon, we see the XC, we see the baby dragon. Could definitely be a freeze from our opponent. You can kind of just start predicting like card combinations a little bit, like balloon and freeze. Like, that's a pretty common card combo, right? So he goes in with the balloon. He could pop an ability, so I'll just be ready for that. He does. I don't think we need to defend that balloon anymore. We'll just focus on the Dark Prince here, and we should be good. And once again, we're going to be up a little bit of elixir. Okay, so I'm going to sack some tower damage. I'm going to go archers down low, and I'm going to go Xbow with this archer. I'd rather go opposite lane in this matchup from balloon. So let's see if we can get some tower damage. And yes, we do. We get an Xbow lock. And oh, bad placement on the XC. The opposite lane Evo archer is sniping it out. Hopefully we can kill it right now. Beautiful. And look at that. We already have the damage lead. So another thing I just realized I talked about but haven't covered a ton is what matchups you want to go same lane versus opposite lane in. So a balloon, I want to go opposite lane because they can use their balloon to defend my Xbow. Because like if I play my Xbow at the bridge, they can balloon on top and kill it pretty easily. And if they do that, I want their balloon to be in the opposite lane. I don't want it to be in the lane that they're trying to get tower damage, if that makes sense there. All right, I'm going to switch up my Tesla placement just because his balloon's on the side this time. I didn't want him to like prediction fireball or anything. You always got to keep your opponents on your toes, man. So yeah, it looks like everything's going to be dead. Is he going to pop his hog? No, he's not. And at this point, once you get within even like 700, 800 damage, honestly, even 900, you can start to spell cycle. I'm going to wait just a little bit longer, and it takes roughly 13 seconds to get back to your fireball if you're trying to spell cycle. So I'm going to cycle it now. Bang, bang, bang. We'll get back to our fireball, and that's going to be another good win for the books, man. As always, we're going to slow play it. We'll drop the good luck and then split our skeletons in the back here. See what's going on. And okay, once again, we got a little bit starting handed, right? Log is our last card in hand, but normally I'm fine taking the negative trade to like defend early on. Because the thing is like, I could have maybe defended that a little bit differently, eaten some goblin damage, but personally, I like to play it safe and keep the game even and just go down a little elixir. So I'm going to be ready for this guy's ability. We'll have our probably knight instead of log. He has the goblin barrel, so we definitely want to keep our log in hand as much as possible, right? Basically, whatever win condition your opponent has, normally you have like a one best card to defend it, and you want to make sure that you have that card in hand when they have their win condition and cycle. So right now, it looks like we're going up against LogBait, right? And I've noticed that this guy has the Dart Goblin and the Princess. Normally, when they have double like range support like that, they don't have a rocket, which makes it a pretty good matchup for Xbow. Let's go Skellies up high. Dart Goblin is going to get blocked. Perfect. And I might go Xbow here. I don't think he's played like his Knight or Valkyrie yet, and yes, he just played his Knight. So his Knight's going to be one of his best counters to Xbow, and oh, he goes Princess too. Wait a minute. He might have trouble here. He could either go building potentially, so I'm going to go Spirit, and he does have the rocket. Okay, so if he has rocket and he has double range, maybe that means no building then. Okay, interesting. Just still trying to figure out all the cards in this guy's deck so far, and you know, remember them. Can definitely be a little bit difficult while you're playing, but it's just kind of a skill that develops over time for sure. We got the Evo Archers down. That could force out some good elixir, and that's going to kill the Dart Goblin. I'll hover my skeletons for ability. Doesn't play it. That's fine. And so in terms of this guy's best Xbow counters, I'm thinking of the Knight #1. I'm going to pressure once again here, and I think I'm going to go Tesla because he's not back to rocket just yet. And yo, he actually misplayed the Knight. I didn't even notice that off first glance. Okay, we got the Xbow lock. That's definitely going to force out a rocket because that's his only reset. And then I'm going to go Knight. This is going to kite his Knight. And then we'll go log plus Electro Spirit. We'll eat a little bit of chip, but the E-Spirit kills the Fate Goblin, if you guys didn't know. A very nice counter. And not too big of a problem for Xbow when you run the E-Spirit. I'll probably talk about that in maybe next match, but I do personally prefer the E-Spirit over the Ice Spirit. Alright, let's see. We have a pretty solid damage lead. This should be a winning position from this point. I'm going to log here, and then we'll just go archers up top for this princess. We just need to be a little bit careful about his rocket, but other than that, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'm going to go Xbow, see if maybe we can force out another rocket here. Yes, we can, and the thing is rocket doesn't full counter Xbow, so we're still getting some chip off of that. I'm just going to make sure he can't get any princesses to bridge. Yep, there we go. Nice little prediction. Anytime, like, it's easier to predict princesses in double elixir, but anytime you're at like a slow standstill point, it's normally a pretty good idea to go with the little prediction. Alright, perfect. We're doing pretty good at countering here. Just going to take the log once again. Hopefully the Dart Goblin walks into the log. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I definitely should have blocked that. That's on me. But let's just continue pressuring with the Xbow. We'll force out the rocket. We'll get a little bit of extra value on his Knight. That is definitely fine. Block the bridge once again for the princess. There it is. As you can notice, every time like it's kind of a slow standstill, I don't have anything down, those are definitely the best times. And he's giving me fireball value unless the Dart Goblin walks away. Yeah, we'll take that fireball value. I'm going to go skeletons the back just in case he goes for any like goblin barrels. Sometimes that'll help counter it a little bit. And once we get to triple elixir, it's going to be very hard for him to get any princesses on tower. So we're looking pretty solid. I'm going to actually spend 6 elixir on this Evo barrel just because we don't want to really take any chance. Block the princess once again. There it is, man. I'm telling you, like, the princess blocks, ever since that they made that change, made them easier to catch, it is sometimes very free. He actually did a very good job protecting his princess there. I'm going to go Tesla just to keep up a little bit pressure. and he's doing a good job keeping up the momentum, but our defense has still been pretty solid. I'm probably going to go Xbow once this knight walks up a little bit. Don't want to give him too much rocket value here. And yeah, so every time he drops a rocket on my Xbow, that's one rocket that's not going to my tower. So I'm very, very happy about that. Because I feel like the only way this guy has a true chance at this point is going to be Rocket Cycle. So, alright, we have the log down for the barrel. That is perfect. He hasn't played any tricky barrels, which is nice so far. Block this Dart Goblin. I'm even just going to Tesla the bridge just to take out his support troops. And look, he hasn't rocketed the Xbow on the right lane. It's getting so much value. He finally drops his rocket, which means he can at max get one more rocket on tower. And I think that's going to secure the dub for this game, man. Very, very nice. Honestly, I feel like we played double elixir the best of any time. And honestly, we just got a solid lead and held the defense after that. And that is exactly how you want to play against these bait decks, especially when they run their rockets. Since he didn't have the building, it made it very easy for us to get good pressure with the Xbows, and we just took home the dub from there. Alright, in the last match here, and I touched on it a little bit in the previous match, but I personally used to always run the Ice Spirit whenever I was playing Xbow. This was like years ago. And then E-Spirit came out, some people started switching. I stuck to Ice Spirit for a little bit longer, but I think that one of the main reasons I love the E-Spirit is because a lot of times it helps you kind of deal with cards. Like maybe Log doesn't fully kill something, you have the E-Spirit, and you get the guaranteed chain on something in the back of the push. But another huge help, especially in mid-ladder, honestly, is how strong E-Spirit is against bats. Like maybe you have a bad matchup against like Golem with Night Witch, or maybe they're playing Megaknight Bats. Having that E-Spirit is so valuable and just provides so much extra utility than the Ice Spirit. And honestly, the extra freeze duration from the Ice Spirit, it doesn't play a huge factor most of the time. So you can normally get away from it. Unfortunately, I've been a little bit slow on my Teslas here. We've let him get a little bit of hog damage, and I haven't been completely locked in. I don't remember all of this guy's cards because I was so busy yapping about the Ice Spirit, but let's just slow play this a little bit more. Yeah, even this is a good example as well. If you don't remember what cards your opponent was playing, just kind of slow play it, force him to play some cards. Okay, now I know he's got the Dark Prince again. Obviously, he's already played the Dark Prince, but, you know, maybe I just forgot. So it's nice to just kind of slow play if you're not always on the top of your game. I could go for the log here, especially... No, okay, we'll just take the Fireball. I might even go Xbow, to be honest. We want to have the Fireball in hand for his Royal Hogs, but I want to figure out if this guy has, like, recruits or anything. Okay, we'll catch the Bar Barrel, and we get the Xbow connection. This is nice here. Huge damage. Let's see how he responds. He goes with the Dark Prince. I'm going to try to retarget it. I don't know if that'll actually work. Yeah, that actually did work. Okay, I wasn't sure because of the splash of the Dark Prince. And he's going to get some nice Royal Hogs damage. I think we'll just kind of wait on our Fireball. And he obviously gets some good damage there, but look at his tower. He's already in Spell Cycle range. That one Xbow connection has single-handedly won us this game. All right, let's split these archers here and split these skellies as well. Just protect them a little bit. And I probably could get another Xbow lock, but I want to show how to Spell Cycle. So we're going to go Knight down low. You got to remember your opponent's win conditions, right? To my knowledge, this guy's only win conditions is like the Royal Hogs and like Evo Dark Prince ability, if you want to call it that. So I'm just going to cycle my log here. Anytime you get value and you're trying to Spell Cycle and you're in a safe position, it's always good to take it. And oh man, this guy's a lightning. Did not know that. Okay, so here, I'm going to show you guys the anti-lightning Xbow placement. This means that he can't lightning my tower and my Xbow at the same time. Very nice placement. Once again, we're spell cycling. He gives me value. I'm taking that. 4 for 4 trade, and we get closer to our goal. Let's see what he wants to do. I'll probably log. Yeah, we'll log as well. Looks like he's not really applying pressure. I'm not sure that he realizes that he's about to get spelled out, but that's fine by me. He does go for the Royal Hogs. I'm going to play my Tesla in the anti-lightning placement up there. Knight as well. And at this point, if he wants to lightning, like, so be it. It doesn't really matter. We are within, what is this? This is Fireball plus 2 logs or 2 Fireball range. And yo, oh my goodness, you could even call that a prediction if you want. We hit these Skelly Drags. I'm just going to cycle back to another Fireball here. He calls the good game. Looks like we won't even need it. GG's, well played, Pain. And you know what? I think we'll do one more bonus match, because why not? In the last match here, and man, I hope this guy has a Mega Knight because I know that's the #1 card that mid-ladder players tend to struggle against, but looks like we have ourselves a Cycle deck instead. Okay, so when I see these cards, I'm thinking either maybe like Hog, maybe Xbow. Really not too sure just based off the cards he played so far, and oh, he has a Furnace as well. Okay, definitely not going to be as much of a Cycle deck as it was looking there, so this is going to be good for us. Let's go for a log to reset everything, and we only need to be worrying about an ability. Okay, this is going to be a great matchup to show off the E-Spirit value. Unfortunately, it died right there, but just in general, Electro Spirit gets a ton of value against Graveyard, and we got a King Tower activation since he had poor placement. So the one nice thing about Midladder is that a lot of times your opponents don't know exactly what they're doing, and sometimes they'll make some big mistakes that give you some good value for the rest of the game. So we got a nice elixir lead, and I'm pretty sure I know this guy's deck. I think maybe he has a Goblin Hut. So let's see what he wants to do here. Oh, he goes for the Furnace. I think I'm going to Fireball Log, actually, because this is going to kill the Knight too. And if he's not ready, we do get the Xbow lock. Sometimes I'll go down a lot of elixir for it, but you guys can be pretty aggressive with your spells if you know your opponent's deck. So I knew, obviously, this guy has Graveyard, which isn't the easiest to kind of pressure with. Like, if you're up 3 or 4 elixir, you can't do a ton with that with Graveyard, right? So we're able to break through and get some nice damage there. So another key factor, the reason I played my Xbow in the right lane is because you always want to go opposite lane going against Graveyard. This is true even if you're not playing Xbow, because the idea of Graveyard is that they defend and then they get a counter push. So like, let's say we're fighting over here, he gets the counter push, his troops come down, he drops a Graveyard over here. Now the thing is if I play my Xbow over in the right lane, then all of his push that comes killing the Xbow, he can't Graveyard with it, or if he does, it's in the wrong lane and it's not where he wants it. So definitely a nice tip to go opposite lane there. And this is the dangerous push of this guy's deck right here. He has the 1 HP Furnace as well. Archers and E-Spirit are going to be our 2 best kind of Graveyard counters with the log as well. I'm going to drop my log here, and I think this is going to be fine, I think. Yeah, Archers are cleaning up very nicely, and we took very minimal damage there. So once again, I could pressure here, and since he goes with a pretty weak poison, I'm going to pressure with my Xbow, see how he wants to defend this. And okay, you know, Goblin Hut in the middle is a decent Xbow counter, but not at the bridge. We're going to be able to take that out quickly, and I'm going to try and log off this Dark Prince so that we can kill it as fast as possible. Catch the Bar Barrel with the Skellies, keep our Xbow healthy, and man, you can tell he's getting these cards down at the last second. We can go Fireball on top of the Furnace. I think I missed the tower, shouldn't matter though. And yeah, look, he just doesn't have any elixir to get back to anything. He comes down with the Dark Prince, it's too late. And this is how you make the Dark Prince hop the bridge, which if the Xbow was targeting it, it would have switched to the tower. And at this point, we are certified going opposite lane, which is exactly what we want. And I'm going to go Xbow on the right. If he poisons, which is probably his best response at this moment, that's still fine with me. Doesn't even go for the poison. And I'm going to try and do the Fireball trick once again. Nice, look at that. We killed the Furnace, and he had a little bit more time to prepare this time. Oh, wait, can I make this jump, please? No, I think if we didn't have the Knight there, we could have made the Dark Prince jump. Still fine, though. And yeah, I mean, we're just keeping up good pressure. Every second that my Xbow is kind of distracting this guy, that's a second that this guy can't go in with his Graveyard. So I'm going to go Tesla the bridge. This is going to block both lanes here. And I'm going to go Xbow to pressure so that he can't go full in on a Graveyard push. He might still try and go in with Graveyard, but yeah, it's just not going to work out for him, to be honest. We'll take the log here on top of the hut. Catch the Bar Barrel. No, I'm a little bit too slow there. Unfortunately, just a little bit too slow, but did you guys just see how I could totally convince this guy to not go in with his Graveyard? That was 110% his plan, but we were able to force him to defend instead. Let's keep up the pressure here. We have the Evo Tesla as well. Dark Prince jumps the bridge, which if you guys notice, that's going to allow our Xbow on tower, Fireball, log, GG's, well played. And man, I'm glad we got to see the Dark Prince jump the bridge from support placement from the opponent. But that is the ultimate Xbow guide. If you guys want another kind of follow-up guide or maybe even more advanced guide, let me know in the comments. But that's all for this one, guys. Peace out.